Hello, everyone. I'm CJ Wolf with Healthicity, here to share some news if you haven't already heard it. The U.S. Department of Justice, or DOJ, has updated once again their document titled Evaluating Compliance Programs. This is an internal document that the DOJ uses to guide their investigating attorneys when they go into organizations who may have issues, and the DOJ needs to evaluate, is this an effective compliance program? Sometimes you can get credit when you have an effective compliance program. And so it may be an internal document, but it's published. Obviously, it's also used by all of us in the compliance profession to assess, okay, what is the DOJ looking for? So just a few areas that I want to highlight, and then we'll link to the document so you can read it in its entirety. First is risk assessments. So risk assessments should be dynamic. That means you shouldn't, have that same risk assessment year after year after year. Granted, it may be very similar if circumstances in your industry or in your organization do not change, but that's unlikely, right? The industry is regularly evolving. Your organization is likely changing. And so performing a regular formal risk assessment, at least annually, is really essential, and allowing flexibility to have that change as the year goes on. And the DOJ also mentions new and emerging technology. Think artificial intelligence, AI. That's obviously a hot topic, but will that bring new risks to the organization? How might that affect certain things when it comes to compliance? And so that's a really important part of risk assessments. And then they also mention vendors. Don't forget your vendors. They should be a part of your risk assessment, meaning you should be assessing what risks do they bring. Hopefully, before you even bring them on as vendors, you're doing due diligence to make sure that they have solid programs themselves, especially if you're sharing things like data and key processes with them where they could bring some risk upon the organization. So the second area is your organization should change, your compliance programs should change based on lessons learned. No organization is perfect. Compliance programs are going to find issues. Good compliance programs will. And that doesn't mean they're going to find serious issues. Hopefully that's not the case, but occasionally it is. But you're going to always find issues of non-compliance where you can improve. And what the DOJ wants to see is, what did you do when you had some sort of issue, you identified it? Did you make changes? So did you change? Were there lessons learned? And did you truly adapt based off of those issues that you had in the past? The third area is speaking up, or what a lot of people call speak up culture. What is that culture like in your organization? Do employees and others feel comfortable and safe in speaking up, or is there fear of retaliation? You should have an anti-retaliation policy. You also should be measuring. The DOJ expects you to be able to measure what this culture is, and is it improving? So you should have some sort of baseline measurement, and then be doing different activities to improve this culture, this speak up culture, so that others feel comfortable to report potential issues of concern. And then you're measuring that so you can see that culture is improving. And then two more areas. The fourth area is mergers and acquisitions. How is compliance involved in mergers and acquisitions? How is that new entity or new company, if you're acquiring, how are they integrated into the compliance program? And how will your compliance program change based off of maybe a new landscape, a new area that you're entering? Again, kind of going back to those risk assessments. What changes when you are involved in mergers and acquisitions? And lastly, what I'm calling putting your compliance money where your mouth is. In other words, DOJ expects there to be resources dedicated to the compliance program. That is financial, that is human resources, that is support from the rest of the organization. It's one thing to kind of talk a good talk and to kind of check all the boxes, but one way to really tell if a compliance program is serious, and if the organization is serious about having an effective compliance program, is if they're putting true resources into the compliance program. And that's pretty easy to tell when you're comparing departments, right? And you're looking at budgets and those sorts of things. So anyway, those are some quick is a quick review of the DOJ updated guidance that updated September of 2024. And again, we'll have the link there for you to read the document in its entirety. Thanks for listening.